Good evening to everybody who's actually out there paying attention to this. Welcome to the Proving Grounds. This is Jose, your fellow adventurer on this odyssey that I call my scripting labs. And in this one, we are delving into PowerShell. So, with this, I welcome you to hell. Okay, now, a little backstory. I don't really know too much PowerShell. I spent a lot of time doing a lot of things in either command prompt or in Bash when I'm working with Linux. I'm not afraid of PowerShell. I just normally don't have the opportunity to use it. And today I am biting the bullet, jumping into the pool through the deep end, and I'm not looking where I'm going. So with that, we are going to look for PowerShell and open it up as an administrator. And now we got that wonderful blue background. Now, like I said, I don't really do too much with PowerShell, so I'm going to just answer, or should I say, ask a question and then try to figure out the best possible answers or solutions here. So, first question that I'm dealing with here, and understand I'm asking the questions to myself. No one's actually been sending me any requests, so here we go. What's the fastest way to get a list of unassigned ports? Uh, from there, I went with this. I started looking into it, and Windows will show you current and existing network connections via open ports or open list or listening ports that are currently not establishing any kind of a connection. And the command for that is netstat. So we're going to dive in here and we're going to type in netstat and then space dash ANO. And isn't that cool? Look at the top, it gives us a better idea. We got our protocol, local address, foreign address, listening actually our state, and also the PID. So, or protocol ID. I think that's what the term is. So with that, I'm going to just scroll down. I'm not going to like delve too deeply in here. This is more exploratory, trying to figure out what we want to do. So from there, we can determine which program uses or blocks a port by using that stat. And with that ANO, we also do space dash P, which is for protocol, I'm assuming, and then we're choosing TCP. So basically, all the TCP ports. If it's listening, it's an open port. It's established, it's being used. Whether it's an application or you're running a website or something off the server, I'm not quite sure. I'm not asking too many questions on that topic. But to list free ports, port names will be listed next to the local IP address if we do a slight alteration to netstat here. Instead of doing the netstat ANO, we are going to backtrack and do netstat AB dash AB. And hello, we got our active connections. The protocol, local address, foreign address, and the state. Since we're looking for open ports, there you go. Now, what's next? This thing is actually still going. So if we do a control C, we can stop it and move on. If we want to get a list of ports in use, we can use the -AN switch to show all connections to any kind of listening port in a numeric form. Yeah, I'm actually looking at my notes for this, so it makes it a little bit easier for me to sound like I know what I'm talking about. I am learning as I go along here. but hopefully some of this stuff is actually useful to you. So on this topic, we're going to go with netstat an, and here basically goes our protocols, TCP, UDP. It breaks it down, and we also have our status all the way here at the end. As you can see, we also have some IPv6 addresses here too. And I saw a netstat-a, so let's just see what that gives us. Actually, that's pretty cool. Now, apparently this one's also still going, so I'm going to break that by going Control C. And we can look a little further. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to work, but let's give it a try. This one is about checking the blocked ports in a firewall via the command prompt. We're in PowerShell. Let's see if this will actually work for us or not. So this is slightly different. This is a netsh. And I'm just going to copy and paste it because it's going to be a little bit faster. So it's netsh firewall show state. And there we go. The port's currently open on all network interfaces, so that's awesome. Uh, what else do we have here that we could actually mess around with? There's also find active and listening ports. There's another option. There's also the GetNet TCP connection. So this is very similar to our netstat-ANO, and it works like this. We're gonna here, and we're gonna type in or paste in GetNet TCP connection, and it's gonna show us all this, which is pretty cool. It breaks it down: local address, local port, remote port, state, and also applied setting. Isn't that cool? And it's not going on forever, which is awesome. Now, if we also mess around here, we can also do the same thing, but if we actually do a pipe, and then we select an object, and we want the property of it. So we just have to write the whole word here, property. I wonder if it's forgiving of misspellings. Probably not. Space, and we'll add an asterisk to see what it gives us. Whoa! Not bad. This is going to take me a while to decipher, so I'm not going to waste too much time here on that. But since I gave you that, you can play around with that and figure out what you want to do. Now, something similar, but we're going to backtrack here. Instead of selecting a property, we are going to wait a minute, back to the connection, space, dash, and we're going to go to the state, and we're going to look for anything that's listening, or in other words, an open port. So listen and see what happens. Oh, this is cool. It breaks it down, and it also gives you an owning process, and it names that. And if we wanted to actually figure out what those are, we can just get the process ID. So in this case, we did get process dash ID. And we pick a number. So let's go with number 4. Okay, that's system process. So we do the same thing, but we back it up and we go with the, the next one, 560. See what that gives us. Okay, that's for a service. And let's go down here. It's like 4480. What's that? NV container. Okay, so some kind of container going on. Pretty cool. This is a good way for us to figure out what's actually going on under the hood. Now, there are other things that we can go over, but I think this is good for now. Most of these things that we've been messing around with have mostly to do with networking, and it's like if you are someone who specializes in networks, going for your CCNA or your Network Plus, these commands will probably come in handy. You'll probably be able to get away using them in just command prompt, but apparently some of these are just strictly PowerShell, but a lot of your command prompt commands also work here. So hopefully this has been useful to you. I've given myself enough stuff here to do some homework and get a better handle on this. And with that, I'm going to wish you all a good night. I could cue in heavy breathing, but I'm not going to. Good night, everyone.